What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Now, I apologise for my hair already. It's full on pandemic chaos going on, so no barbers are open, but I'm going to go for the Bradley Cooper look, if that's even possible. But before we get into the main purpose of this video, I just want to show you the trades I got on at the moment, the currency pairs, the strategies I'm using, and why I placed the trade in the first place. So before we get started, let's just dive into my computer. Okay, right, we're in. So, let me just start off by saying I am slowly understanding trades. Now, I'll show you through my journal, trading journal, I've lost £14,500 of my original £50,000 on my demo account. So I've learned the hard way. Admittedly, it's not real money, but it's still painful to know that the decisions you're doing aren't correct, so there's something wrong. So I'll explain my whole mindset about that and my struggles with this later on in the video, but right now I just want to show you the trades I've got going on. So to start off with, I've put a buy position in. I'm going long on the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar, so let's just expand this screen. Now, my thought process for this was, let's just zoom out so you can see more of the chart. The Australian dollar against New Zealand dollar has been rising quite a lot lately, so I wanted to go with a trend, and obviously there's not massive phases. As you can see, if I was going to draw a trend line from here to here, let's just do that now, just so you can see what I mean. Trend lines, do a quick one from here to there, just folding it up so you can see it better. Okay, so as you can see this trend line here. The phases aren't that big. Let's just draw freehand. So we're going to get creative on this. Let's just, why not? Where is it? Drawing freehand. Let's ball it. There's phase 1, phase 2, phase 1, phase 2. My drawing's showing phase 1. And then it drops off down here. Okay, right, now I'm just going to delete that because that's just confusing to look at, but that's what I mean by the phases. So the phases aren't massive. Now, that was one of my concerns about this trade, because as you can see here, the phases aren't big. So you got phase 1, phase 2, phase 1, phase 2, phase 1. It's gone back into phase 2. So as you can see from my trend line, I'm predicting, I got trend lines up here. I got trend lines everywhere. Let's just delete all these. I mean, Jesus. God, okay, right. Keep your trend lines under control. Let's delete this one as well, because goddamn, let's just focus on this. Okay. So, let's zoom in to get a better idea what's going on with this trade. So, as you can see, it's a classic 180 phase changer move. We've got two ring lows here. So we've got phase 1, it's pull back again. So my buy entry is just above the previous current bar, and my stop loss is just 1 pip below the previous current bar. And it says that the profit margin was just 30 pips away, but as you can see from my moving average, it's 29 pips away. So in order to be more secure in this trade, I don't want it to like not achieve that profit margin, so I just brought it down a few pips just to make sure that trade goes through. But so far it's looking good. That trade will be triggered probably within probably an hour or so after this bar closes, because New York time is just about to start, and probably the volatility will go up there just because there's more activity going on. So I'm happy with that trade. So that's my long position on the Australian dollar against New Zealand dollar. Now let's zoom out and look at my short trade with the pound against the US dollar. So cable, apparently that's what it's called for all you forex lingo trader people out there. Let's have a look at this one. So let's just have a look at this one. So as you can see, this is a no strategy trade, just because Smart Charts hasn't called out the 180 phase changer yet, just because the setup isn't perfect. So technically I shouldn't be doing this trade, but everything else is in its favor. So as you can see, it's a downwards trend, and the The 20 EMA is above the 8 EMA, which proves again that is definitely a downwards trend. Also, the higher time rate is also in a downwards trend. So let's just go on the daily because I'm on the 4-hour chart. So as you can see, it is also heading downwards. So the higher the higher time frame rate is in my favor as well. So we've got the trend line going down, we've got the moving averages going down, we've got the higher time frame saying it's going down, and also, as you can see, it's completed the phase 2 pullback. So as you can see, we've got phase 1, phase 2, phase 1, phase 2. So I'm predicting it's going to go down here a bit. Now this is a 240 pip move, so that is the red line is technically where I'm saying the next phase 1 is going to end. It could go further than that, but to be sure, I have got my take profit line at 151 pips. So that's still a decent profit of just under 1,500 quid. I mean, I could just move it down a little bit just to get the 1,500. Yeah, so this is why I love smart charts, because you can easily judge it. Obviously, this trade hasn't gone through yet. It's still pending because it hasn't triggered the mark. And if this bar just went slightly above this previous bar here, that would be a perfect ring high situation, which means it's probably going to be going down. Let me just double check my notes. Yeah, so if it's a ring high, which it looks like this on the bar front, then the next bar will probably be going on a downwards trend. So I'm completely happy with this trade, even though it hasn't triggered the signal. Technically, we've got everything else in my favor. So I'm predicting that's going to go down. So as soon as it passes the previous bar here at 1 pip, then my sell entry will be triggered. I'm risking 2% on this trade with a stop loss of 73 pips, which is fine because the average true range on this, the movement price, is 43 pips. So my stop loss is in a safe place. I'm not going to get stopped out. So that's good. My sell entry is in a good place, and my take profit line is insane. This is roughly a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So these are my trades I've got in. Let me just update this trade now. Updated. So yeah, that's done. So as soon as that triggers today, I'll also keep you up to date on my social media channels and all that stuff, which I'll leave in the link below. But yes, so far I've only got 2 trades on at the moment, and it depends what happens in the afternoon. If there's any more opportunities come up, then I'll share that on social media as well. But right now, that is it. Let's get back to my main purpose of this video. Right, now, the main purpose of the video. I'm just thinking it'd be sick if I could get like a wicked logo behind there. That would just be, I'll put the channel logo back there. That'd be cool. I think that'll be professional as fuck. Right. So, my struggles with Forex so far. I've been doing Forex training now for probably 2 weeks. 2 weeks, maybe 2 and a smidge. Not that far over 2 weeks at all. And I started with a demo account with smart charts, starts with 50 grand, as probably some of you know. And I've managed to lose 14.5 grand. It was 15.5 grand, but I made £1,000 back last night thanks to the trades I did yesterday on yesterday's video. So I'll put a link to that, whatever, somewhere down here. So that was an eye-opener, because when I first watched smart charts, I thought, oh, the signals are great, it saves me loads of time, and they're pretty much guaranteed to work. Technically that's true, technically, but I overlooked everything else. And let me explain. So, I was looking through the signals, because before I used eToro, and the charts weren't easy to read, and also I didn't understand trends when I was on eToro, and also there was no signal, so I had to scan through loads and loads and loads and loads of charts to try and find maybe a setup that I believed could work. I had no knowledge and strategies and all that stuff. So going back to smart charts, the signals were fantastic. They were giving me the right setups needed for the strategy to work, but I overlooked things. I overlooked higher time frames, I overlooked trend lines, I overlooked oscillators, so stochastic, I think that's how you pronounce it. You'll probably destroy me for saying our stochastic oscillators. I overlooked average true ranges, and all these things built up against me, but in my eyes I was just seeing, oh look, smart charts are saying that this T wave is going to work now, which technically the setups for that trade would work, but everything else was against me, so I was going against the tide, not with the tide, if that makes sense. So that was the main reason why, one of the main reasons why I lost 14.5 grand in 2 weeks. Also, I was jumping between strategies. You get 5 strategies when you start smart charts. You get the pip runner, which is a lower time frame strategy, which is roughly, I think, 15 minutes is the only time that strategy works, 15-minute chart. You've got the volatility reversal, which I think goes down to like a 5-minute chart sometimes. You've got the Bollinger Bands, and you've got the 180 phase changer, and then you've got the T wave. So these are your 5 strategies. Now, I didn't really understand strategies to begin with. I was like, okay, can you just use any of them and just be successful? Technically you can, but you really want to understand inside and out. And when you look at a chart, you should see the setup for that strategy and be like, yes. So technically you shouldn't need the signals to understand if the strategy is going to work or not. So that was another thing that played against me in losing that 14.5 grand, was I was going from any strategy at the time just to see if I could make money on it. So it's kind of like I was treating it like gambling, which I probably shouldn't have. I should be learning the charts. But even though in my head I wasn't trying to gamble, but looking back on it now, it was definitely a gambler's mindset, because I was just there like, oh, I wasn't like betting more. I was still sticking to 2% risk on every trade, but I was just doing 10 trades a day. I think it's more like just trying to get my feet wet, trying to understand it, which makes sense, but at the end of the day, I still lost more than I gained. So like my success rate was 36%, which isn't good, which means I've lost money. And I want to be comfortably successful at 70 to 80% before I start my live account, which is going to be in 2, maybe 3 weeks, because I got my live training in 4 weeks. And I know I want to set up my live account fully up, running and set going at least a week before. They recommend 2 weeks before, but it depends. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and set up my live account anyway, so. But yeah, so that was the other thing. So let's just recap. I lost 14.5 grand because I jumped around the strategies, not sticking to 1 or 2 only. And also, I was just doing too many trades a day, risking too much of my account percentage. And I was relying on the signals only. So those are 3 reasons why I've been struggling the last 2 weeks of Forex. And this obviously plays with your mental state, thinking, shit, can I actually do this? Is this actually possible? I got through that thanks to Greg's video last week about your reasons why, and my reasons why I want to do this are really strong, which I've obviously explained in the comments below, and I'll just explain in a different video. Anyway, because this is what this is not about. So like, how did I overcome this? I realized this, and then I battled it, and now I'm becoming more successful. So on my last video I did, which would be a link to the end of this video, I was understanding trends. I was showing you the phase 1, the phase 2 move, and that trend came off, and this morning it closed at 10:30 in the morning, and I was £1,000 up, which is great. So I was like, okay, I understood a move in the market, I understood the patterns, I predicted the pattern, I put the trade, and it came through. So I was like, yes, okay. So like, how did I do this? So basically, I went through the e-learning on smart charts twice. I did it once. I thought I had a rough idea. I thought this is good enough. This got signals. I'll figure it out. No. That's where I went wrong. So I was like, right, I'm obviously losing a lot. I'm missing something. There's a part of the puzzle I'm not getting. So I rewatched everything back to the very start. The introduction video, the trends video, the everything, technical analysis video, literally the whole thing twice. Psychology videos behind it. Literally, I smashed everything in a day again. It's like, right, I need to understand this. And then I get that aha moment. This is where I was going wrong. I was getting the trends wrong. It's like when they say, when you look out on the scene, if it's rough, don't go sailing. I was going against the tide every time. That is why I lost 14.5 grand within 2 weeks, and also that is why my trades weren't playing off, because it just wasn't working. So now, thanks to watching those videos, all of them again, and realizing where I was going wrong, I only stick to one strategy now, which I've fully concentrated on the 180 phase changer. The reasons for that is because I have a 9 till 5. Well, I'm on furlough, but hopefully I have a 9 till 5. I can't be staring at charts all day, so I can do 4-hour and 1-day charts, which works for me. Also, it's less cluttered, so obviously when you look at a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart or even a 1-hour chart, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of volatility, and you can, if you're not there at the moment to go in the trade, go out the trade, or just whatever, you could miss out on a big opportunity and you could be losing a lot more money. So I like the 4-hour charts. It's a lot slower, it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot simpler to understand and see what's going on. So 4-hour, 1-day charts, 180 phase changer only. So I don't put that many trades on. Even if the signals say this trade is going to work for a 180 phase changer, I won't put that trade on unless I have the higher time frame agreeing with me, the moving averages agreeing with me, I have the signal, a strong signal from smart charts agreeing with me, and everything basically. I need to have all my ducks in a row before any trades on. So now I only put on maybe 1 or 2 trades a day to find the right trade, the right setup, and that's working fine for me. So far, it's paying off. I'm not feeling the need to put loads of trades on. I feel like before I was like, oh, the more trades I put on, the more money you're going to get, which technically backfired, and the more trades I put on, I lost more money. So it doesn't pay off. And I was looking at the charts the whole time thinking, it's not going to hit my take profit line, it's not going to hit my take profit line, so I'll just bail out quickly. So obviously I wasn't confident in the trade in the first place in order to do that. So obviously if you have a system in place and a strategy in place and you have the discipline, you know because of X, Y, and Z, this has happened, it should happen here. It's not a guarantee, but the whole reason why you put on that trade in the first place is because all your ducks are in line and you're predicting the movement to go here, and there's no reason why it shouldn't, unless something random happens like a news release, but then you don't trade within those news hours. So, recap. I rewatched the training twice. I understood why I was going wrong. I made adjustments to my trading behavior and discipline and all that stuff, and I only focus on one strategy, and I don't trade that many times a day, and so far it's working. And obviously I'll keep you up to date on my social medias, which are all down below, of what I'm trading on every day and the outcomes of those trades every day. So far it's going great. So one strategy, not many trades a day, sticking to my guns, and if something doesn't add up, let's say the moving averages are in my direction, the signals in my direction, the trend line is in my direction, but if the high time frame isn't in my direction, then I won't do that trade. As simple as that. I'll only trade when everything is agreeing in the same direction. End. And I need to get in this mindset now, because when I have a live account, it's losing real money. And obviously when you have a demo account, you kind of think, I'll take the risk, it doesn't really matter, but you don't want to have that mindset because you'll just ruin everything. So that is my outlook on it now, and I hope this video has helped you. So I don't know if you guys have been through the same situation where you've had your demo account and you've lost a load of money and you're wondering why. I definitely highly recommend going back through the training if you're a member of Smart Charts, and just go through everything again. Even if you think you know it, just drink loads of coffee or whatever you need to fully concentrate on just that task. Like I put my phone on mute mode and just focus for the next 3 hours on just going through that training again, step by step, writing notes down, and then you might think, oh, this is why I'm going wrong. Like for me, as I said, I was going wrong because I was going against the trend. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture, I wasn't looking at the phases. Now, as I was saying, if the phase isn't there, if I can't see a clean phase 1 and a clean phase 2 and a trend line, I ain't doing it. Simple as that. Even if Smart Chart says this is a perfect setup. I still won't do it unless I can see my phase 1 and my phase 2 and my moving averages and all that stuff I said before. So, I'm sorry this is kind of like a long-winded video, but I just wanted to say this to make sure that you understand, or understand that if you're going through the same problems, don't worry. I've done it, I'm doing it, I'm still going through problems, and I'm going to come up with more problems, and I'll share all that stuff and solutions with you as well. But yeah, that's the end of it, guys. That's my mindset now, so I'm only concentrating on the 180 phase changer, and if all my ducks aren't in a line, I am not doing that trade. That's it, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.